Having your own maker's mark to sew into the garments that you painstakingly create is something really special. I've always thought of it like an artist signing your name into your artwork. It personalizes your garment, and there's nothing better than seeing your own name inside that garment that you made. When someone asks you, "Ah, that is beautiful! Who made this?" You can say, "Well, I did, of course. Look, it has my name in it." And if you always thought this was just for professionals and you had to get huge amounts of them, that is not the case. I'm going to show you today how you can get small amounts, great for the home sewer, show you which labels are what and what to actually choose, what they all are. Let's get rid of all the confusion around getting your own clothing labels. Anyone who has ever sewn anything, you know just how much time, effort goes into creating it, right? Am I right? So much time. And for me, one of the most satisfying things has always been those final last stitches when it's all complete and I'm, sewing in literally my name into that beautiful garment and it's just complete, it's finished, it's personalized. It's like signing my name into that piece of art that I've just created. I've always felt this. That's why I think it's so special to be able to do this and quite important for yourself as a fashion designer, as your own garment maker, as an artist, to actually sign your name to it. Have so much pride for your work. It just finishes it off and makes it your own. And if you are ever thinking about selling the garments that you make, you really need to think about having labels on your garments. When I first started my vintage reproduction fashion label many years ago, I had to get clothing labels, of course. This was my first time. Way back then, it was super expensive. I had to get 1,000 labels minimum. 1,000. Just for reference, this is how many 1,000 are. These boxes, yeah. I think it was a 6-week turnaround and super expensive. Luckily though, it seems things have changed a lot, thankfully, and it's now much more accessible. So when the Dutch label shop contacted me last year wanting me to test out their product and see what it was like, I jumped at the chance because I thought, why not? How about I test it out, see what it's like, and I'll report back to you my findings. So I did, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. Now, I will show you my labels in a moment, but I was so impressed at how easy and actually affordable it was that I wanted to be able to share this with you. And so I actually reached out to the Dutch label shop and asked them to sponsor this video. And thankfully they have. They wanted to work with me because they wanted to also, their message is to, the same as mine. It's like signing your name into a piece of artwork, and they really want it to be accessible to everybody, and I think they do a great job at that. So I want to thank the Dutch label shop for sponsoring this video, making it happen, and they've also agreed to give me a discount code just for you guys. So when you order your own labels, you get a special little discount. More on that in a minute. I wanted to run you through to make this really easy for you so that you can order your own. So I want to go through some of the how do you know what labels to choose, right? Do you need to print off your own logo and do all that? Do you have to be a graphic designer to do this? No, I want to run through you some of the products that they offer, what my labels look like, what I chose, why I chose them, run you through some of the options to make it easier for you to decide what labels will be right for you and your sewing. First up, when you look at any sort of logo labels like this, like any clothing labels, you have two types. You have printed and you have woven. The printed ones we can just roll up and throw in the trash can because they're not very nice. They're not professional, it looks yucky, they're usually the scratchy, horrible ones, they're just not good. We don't want those. Thankfully, the Dutch label shop only do high quality labels and they only do woven labels. So we know we're good. They offer two choices. You have your regular woven labels and you have your custom logo woven labels. Now, the custom ones are what I chose, but you do need to have your own graphics, your own logo. So you need to be able to have those graphic design skills or someone to do it for you to be able to print those. And there are a lot more options and they're really good. I'll show you those ones in a moment. Most of you, I think, are going to go with the classic woven label because you don't need any design skills whatsoever. So choosing these ones is super easy. They've made it really easy. They've sent me a bunch of things to show you. There's just like so many labels here. So these ones come just like single folded, so you don't have to worry about edges, folds, like sizes, all of that sort of thing. There's sort of standard sizes and they just, no edges, they're all the same, so you don't have to worry about which side you want folded, which not. Makes it really, really easy. And so when choosing these, all you have to do is type in your text. You choose your colors, of course. You can write your name. You can put handmade by Evelyn. You can even choose little icons like little sewing machines, little buttons, just to jazz it up a little bit. Again, choosing all your own colors. And as you choose all these, you've got a little like live display on the other side that lets you see what it all looks like to finish. So as I said, you don't need any design skills. It's really, really easy. Just choose your size, choose your font, choose your like icons, choose your text, and just add it all, mix and match, and it's all live there for you to see. And bang, you're done. Print it off. They'll actually send you a like a preview, so you can actually preview what you've done before it all goes ahead. They were fantastic. They actually prompted me to remember to, you know, okay it, because I kept forgetting to actually reply to them, so they were really good. Now, I of course already have a logo and everything designed for my brand, so I chose the custom woven logos. And so this is where you upload a design that you already have in a PDF format, and basically like either you have already done all the work there or somebody else designer wise has done all the work, and you just upload it and have a look. Now, I decided to replicate the exact same labels that I had made years ago just to see and compare what they're like. And they're exactly the same. They're fantastic. In fact, I think this fabric is even a little bit softer. So these I had no trouble with. I have the little side folds. So the sides actually fold under and I stitch them on. Now I also chose to get some of these loop folds as well because I wanted something that I could sew into maybe just a waistband or actually on a coat or something like that, and it can be used as a hook as well. So I had some of these made. Now on my first preview, these folds I thought ended up way too close to the actual text, and so I had them like we actually changed the design a little bit, making it a little bit wider to allow for that, and they were great. They did it all. It was fantastic. So in your custom logo, there's a lot more choices in the folds that you can get. You can choose a straight with no folds, so you can stitch it straight on. You can have the top only in taffeta, so you can even have no folds and just choose to fold it yourself so you can stitch it in. So how do you know what size and what sort of fold to get? Well, I would recommend for starters, just to go with like the easy one. Go easy. Go no folds, no nothing, and you can just stitch it in as the way that you like. But just make sure that you leave enough room around your text so that you can actually stitch it on, right? So big key, leave yourself enough room. The other thing when I was looking at my labels, what I was considering about the size, I always liked a slightly larger label as opposed to something smaller like this, because it's more vintage. When I look at the vintage clothes that I adored, they all have sort of larger labels, this kind of just off-white, creamy looking. And I liked the fact that they're usually stitched all the way on, all the way around, so they're not flapping around, usually in vintage garments. So I kind of wanted to replicate that. And so most of my garments I'm sewing with either they have facings or something like that on the back in which I can actually stitch them all the way on, rather than like this one, it only has a bias binding around the top, and so it just flaps open, which you see all the time. And I mean, that's okay. That's kind of where these other ones come in for that sort of a job, but I didn't have these at the time. I put this one on after and I didn't want to put it in. I've just hand stitched this one on top. So have a think about what the majority of sewing that you do. Do you need a larger section up the top so you can insert it into seams all the time? Or are you like me and like to kind of sew around the entire thing and put it on? Just think about that before you, when you're looking at what size and how much to allow where your text is for all the stitching, to actually stitch it onto the garment the way that you usually do. Now my colors, this one here is actually the off-white. It is a fairly creamy off-white, so if you don't like any yellow tones, I would recommend to go with white rather than off-white, but I quite like them. And some of these metallic ones in here, these look fantastic. This has got a gold thread through it. Now, if you sell your wares or are hoping to, there are, at least in my country, in Australia, there are actual legal requirements that you need to have attached to, either permanently attached or semi-attached to a garment for it to legally be sold. And I don't know what country you are from and what rules are in where you are, but they're probably pretty similar. So things like size labels, you must have these on a garment. And they actually have like pre-printed ones that you can just order from stock, which is fantastic. I use these in mine, these like stock sizes. And the other thing you need is care labels. So again, I had to print off, can you see back here, this like white thing with all these rolls and rolls and rolls. I had to have them pre-printed off in, you know, by the 1,000 again, for every single different like fiber that was like every different fabric I used was made of something different. It was ridiculous. So they've made it really simple. Now these are printed labels because they're all different. You want just these quick and easy. So you can actually write out and actually have care labels, fiber content for each of your individual fabrics. They make it really easy to have all of these in small amounts so you don't have to get ridiculous amounts of rolls like I had to back there. And nothing like having swing labels too. So if you do make your own garments and are selling them, something to think about too. It just ups the level and makes it look so much more professional. So they also have those if you're interested too. Now they do have two options with your regular labels, and that is a glue on or a stitch. Now I'm not even going to talk about the iron on, which is glue, because we do not do that around here. No glue, no, 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 no. Stitch on labels only. So I also quizzed them, and they actually have a real high concern about sustainability in their business as well. So they actually source like sustainable threads and use natural dyes wherever possible. So it makes me even love them even more. They ship worldwide, and they shipped them super duper fast to me in Australia here. And don't just think that this is for garments that you make from scratch. I put clothing labels in all my refashions too. So like these two have been completely refashioned, you might remember from other videos. Since I've worked them completely from scratch and they're no longer the garment they used to be, I put my own labels in those too, so that they're personalized and they now have my name on them because they are my artwork. At least that's the way I see it anyway. I wouldn't recommend this brand to you if I didn't really believe and have used it myself and love it myself. So please know that I truly do think that you'll love them as much as I do, because you guys are just like me and you want that extra personalization. You want to bring that like extra something to your garments, and being able to put clothing labels in them is definitely one of the top ways that you can do that, and just put that just that finishing touch on your creation, that your piece of your artwork, right? You sign your name into your artwork. Now I did say that the Dutch Label Shop were kind enough to offer a discount as well for you. So that is actually linked in the description below. You can go straight there. But if you use the code EvelynWood15, you can get 15% off your order. Now that is an affiliate link, so I will earn a commission from that. But I want to thank you, because by doing so, it doesn't cost you any more. In fact, you get a discount, and it does help support me and this channel here to keep making these videos for you. I'm so excited for you to get your own clothing labels, really. You'll just love it. There's nothing like putting those final stitches in and put your name in there. So tell me, what do you think about clothing labels? Do you already use them? Do you feel the same way in that it's like signing your name into your artwork? I'd love to hear all your comments below. As always, thank you so very much for watching. If you like this video, like it. If you actually haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that below. Hit that subscribe button. And until next time, bye. Classic sort of woven